Hi everyone, this is Alia de Freight-Spenman from Kuraray, and I thank you very much for joining today's session. A few words about the company at first. So Kuraray is a Japanese company. We are a bit more than 12,000 employees worldwide, so quite big. And we produce specialty chemicals for various industries like case, coatings, automotive, and of course personal care. And so today I would like to spend a bit of time to introduce our raw material isopentyl to you and explain a bit the benefits you can expect for hair care applications. Isopentyl, or more commonly known as IPD, is a multifunctional ingredient for personal care application. Why multifunctional? Because depending on the application, it will bring different types of benefits. On the formulator's side, it is also a great formulation tool. It is fully water soluble and miscible with some oils. So if you have like cloudy solutions or issues to solubilize some oils, IPD can help. Sometimes you don't even need a solubilizer. Then regarding its physical properties, it's transparent, liquid, colorless, and odorless. So quite interesting to formulate with, as it will not alterate with other properties of your formulation. IPD is also safe for users. It's not irritant, not allergenic, and eco-friendly as it is biodegradable. Before I go through the benefits you can expect from IPD for hair care, let me explain about the organoleptic properties of the product. So usually when I meet customers, I always go with my IPD roll-on. It's pure IPD, and I ask the customers to test the product on their hands. So let's do it together. Here I'm applying the product, as you can see here. You can also see that it is transparent and colorless, as I already told you, and it is odorless. And then I will rub the product into my skin. The texture is a bit oily, even though it is not an oil, so it's very easy to apply, and you can see that the product has already penetrated the skin. IPD has very fast penetration for skin, but also for hair. So that is great for leave-on products. It leaves like a shiny finish aspect, which makes the skin look very healthy. For the touch feeling, it is non-tacky, not at all. And the finish feeling is very soft and silky. Those are benefits you will also be finding in hair care application and for scalp care too. Let's jump into the hair care topics. And first, what happens to your hair when you wash it? So your hair fiber is composed of different elements. The most important one, or the most visible one at least, are the cuticles. The cuticles are what protects the hair fiber and also all the hair proteins, so the keratin, the biotin, etc. When you wash your hair, you wash it with water, of course, and your hair fibers swell in contact with water. I'm sure you already experience in humid atmosphere, you tend to have a lot of frizziness. When your hair swells, the cuticles open, and then two damage mechanisms can happen. The first one is protein elution. As they are not closed in anymore by the cuticles, they are very likely to elute. And when hair loses its proteins, well, it loses its strength, shininess, etc. The second damage mechanism is hair breakage. Because the cuticles are opened, they can easily be rubbed off, especially with our mechanical gestures when we wash our hair or dry it. So it is important to prevent damage from happening, and if it does occur, to have a solution to repair it. Now that you know everything about the damage mechanism that can occur while you are washing your hair, let me disclose how IPD can support. While studying the benefits of IPD, we observed that IPD had a specific synergy with a molecule called sorbitol. Sorbitol is a sugar-like molecule that is commonly used in personal care, especially in toothpaste. It has also applications in other personal care items. So for hair care, we have tested the combination of our isopentyl and sorbitol. So in the test that I'm now going to introduce, we took some damaged hair fibers, So you can clearly see at the SCM pictures that the cuticles are opened, and we treated those hairs with a mix of water, 5% of isopentyl and 5% of sorbitol. After 30 minutes of the hair fibers being treated with that simple mix, you can see now the pictures coming up to your screen, and you can see that the hair fibers is completely repaired. The cuticles are totally closed. Underneath the hair fiber pictures, you have like some drop tests. When the hair was damaged, you can see that the contact angle of the water is quite low compared to the repaired one. When your hair is damaged, it is more permeable to water, so more likely to swell. When your hair is repaired and the cuticles are closed, this induces hydrophobicity, which is why the contact angle of the water is higher. And this will provide to your hair some anti-frizz properties. This is a bit what silicones do. So silicones, they coat your hair and they provide to your hair some hydrophobic properties. That is why your hair is always very straight with no frizziness when you use silicone-based products. However, by coating your hair fibers, you also make your hair heavier and greasier application after application. And that is something that will not occur by using a mix sorbitol and isopentyl. I'm sure now you are thinking, okay, they claim that there is a specific synergy between isopentyl and sorbitol, but did they test that synergy with other molecules? Well, the answer is yes, of course. We tested isopentyl alone, sorbitol alone, and sorbitol mixed with other emollients. Here on the screen, you have ring test results that we performed with emollients like dipropylene glycol, butylene glycol, mixed with sorbitol. So the ring tests, you attach a ring to hair bundles and you see how far it falls. When hairs are damaged and cuticles are open, this will slow down and stop the ring during its fall. But if the hair is healthy and repaired and not damaged, then the ring can fall at a greater distance. And as you can see, the greatest distance was with the mixed isopentyl and sorbitol. To help you understand, here is the assumption we make about the mechanism. So when you wash your hair swells, and that gives the opportunity to water to enter your hair fiber. Then hydrogen bonds are created between the water and the hair proteins. Now, when you wash your hair with products containing sorbitol and isopentyl, those molecules will also penetrate your hair fiber. Sorbitol is a big molecule with a lot of OH groups. Isopentyl is a smaller molecule with only 2 OH groups. So the sorbitol, in fact, will come and create bonds with the hair proteins. However, the presence of isopentyl will make these bonds even stronger because the IPD plays a kind of role of a glue between the sorbitol and the hair proteins. We investigated the effect of IPD and sorbitol in comparison to silicones. So to do that, we developed hair treatment formulations, either containing the mix IPD and sorbitol or the silicones, and then we treated some hair bundles with either of the formulations. Then after that, we measured the hair hydrophobicity by measuring the contact angle. And as you can see on the chart, both formulations gave similar results. However, the only difference is one provides hair repair and the other one provides hair coating. So then it's up to you which option you prefer to provide to your customers. So are you convinced now that IPD is the perfect ingredient to fight hair damage? If you are not yet, let me give you an additional insight. With IPD, you can reduce protein elution. If you recall, when I introduced damage mechanisms, well, the result of it, there was cuticles being rubbed off because they are too swollen, or protein elution. So how do we prove that IPD can also help with that second issue? So we immersed bleached damaged hair in different solutions, one containing 2% of IPD and water, or butylene glycol, or glycerin. After 1 hour under 40 degrees, we in fact measured how much proteins are present in each extract. As you can see on the graph, the solution containing IPD also contained the lower amount of proteins. So IPD can really help reduce protein elution, and that is another way to help prevent hair damage. Hair repair is not the only benefit you can expect from IPD. Foam boosting is an additional one. On the pictures, you can see that without IPD, the bubbles are quite large and spaced out, and therefore easier to burst. With IPD, the bubbles are smaller and closer to one another. Therefore, they will not burst that easily. IPD helps stabilize the foam, and this could be a real added value for products like shampoo. Speaking about shampoos, people use them to remove dirt from their hair and their scalp. However, some formulations could be a bit harsh on the scalp, resulting in dandruff or irritations. So here we wanted to check the effectiveness of IPD when it comes to sebum cleansing. We developed some shampoo formulations using either IPD or glycerin or propanediol, and then we checked the sebum cleansing rate. As you can see on the chart, the best results were obtained with the formulation containing IPD. So with that ingredient, you have an effective cleansing effect while being gentle on the scalp. The last effect I will be speaking to you about today is color retention. So we tested IPD in hair dyes and in color protection shampoos. In this test, the hair bundles were not colored with a hair dye containing IPD. They were washed with a formulation containing either IPD or glycerin. And then we measured the color fading. So we measured the color of the hair before washing, and then after 7, 14, and 28 cycles, and we calculated the color variation. As you can see on the chart, the best results were obtained with IPD. So to explain a bit why is that occurring. So remember a bit everything I have said at the beginning of the webinar. IPD penetrates the hair very well. With IPD, the swelling of the hair when washed is reduced. And then IPD also helps repair the hair. When you dye your hair, the color penetrates the hair fiber. And so the aim to make it last as long as possible is to keep the color within the hair. So now it makes sense why with IPD the color is kept for a longer time, for all the benefits I have been mentioning until now. I hope that IPD doesn't have any more secrets for you regarding its benefits for hair care. I would like you to keep in mind that it is a multifunctional ingredient that can play various roles in your formulations, from hair repairing and restoring to scalp caring. There are other properties I didn't have time to talk about, like hair strengthening, anti-freeze, active solubilization, and currently we are gathering data about heat protection and curl definition. If you would like to have more information about our product, do not hesitate to ask me for it. I will also happily send samples for you to test isopentyl and make your own mind about it. Thank you so much for your attention and your interest, and now feel free to ask any questions.